You know the only thing scarier than ghosts? The never-ending laundry pile.
Do you see ghosts?
Hey friends, and welcome back to another story time while we fold our laundry. If you're new here, hi, hello. On Wednesdays, I do story times and I fold my laundry. It's a little inspiration if you are looking for it to get a chore done that you've been putting off. So pause this video and get to it. I don't know why I'm pausing. If you're pausing, I don't need to pause, but pause! Just so you know, yesterday I mentioned that I would be doing a pros and cons or like a wedding planning type video today, but I've decided to do it tomorrow, so stay tuned for that, because today I gotta talk about ghosts. I'm gonna dive right in and get going. So I used to do a series on my channel called Freaky Fridays where I would tell like real life ghost or like true crime stories. I really enjoyed doing that, but I sort of ran out of steam on that. It took like a lot of editing and research, and maybe eventually I'll get back to that. But in the meantime, I'm just living my own little paranormal life, and so I want to just share with you guys a few of my paranormal experiences. I completely believe in ghosts, spirits, the whole thing. I haven't really fallen down the alien rabbit hole, but I have no doubt that there are other beings out there, including this being. Anyways, I get a lot of like premonitions. Like I often get premonitions. I'll think of something and then it'll happen, and I really want to talk more about that some other time if you guys are interested. I actually want to like learn how to hone in on that, but that's separate from ghosts. I've been to many mediums. Mediums are like psychics, but they are specific in terms of being able to talk to, see, correspond with people who have passed. And those experiences have always been really interesting and cool, and I can't like pull any specific, but like my grandma comes in a lot. Not my recent grandma who has passed. I haven't gone to a medium since she passed. I want to do it, but I'm not sure I'm mentally prepared yet. By the way, if you're like not into this kind of stuff, you're gonna think I'm crazy, but you clicked on this video, so clearly you were a little bit interested in this, or you just want to make fun of how crazy I am. But whatever the reason, welcome, hi, hit that like button. So like I said, I've had premonitions a lot, and I believe in like spirit guides and angels and all that stuff. But there has been two specific times, I can't think of any other, but I imagine I would remember them vividly because I remember these two specific times where I saw a ghost, okay? One time was an actual like physical being, and the other time I saw like a ghost moving something. So, actually I have three like experiences to share with you. So here we go. One was in my old apartment, and I can't remember the circumstances, but I do remember that I was in my bedroom and I had heard a really loud like crash. Oh my God, what? So I go into my like living room office area, and I notice that a picture had fallen off the wall. Like a picture that was on the wall was now off the wall. However, this is where it gets creepy. It had flown off the wall. Like it was in a position so far away from where it was hung that like even if there was an earthquake, there's no possible way it would have catapulted itself as far as it landed. You know what I'm saying? That was so creepy, and I had asked my medium friend, my mom's like best friend is a medium, and we had asked her about it, and she says, oh, that happens all the time. Like that's spirit's way of presenting themselves. Things fly off the walls, and by the fact that it was so far away and making me aware that it was like not physically possible, it was giving me the sign that there was some sort of spirit there. I can't remember if she thought that was a negative spirit or not. As it turns out, I had talked to my landlord. I was renting back then at that apartment. It was this great apartment. Oh, you guys know, if you've been with me long enough, my old apartment where I started my YouTube channel, in West Hollywood. Great spot. I love that place. I dream about that place often. It's just like very nostalgic for me, but apparently some crazy stuff went on with the person before me. Like she was like maybe a little bit mentally ill and would have episodes in there. And I think there was just a lot of like, actually the landlord like wouldn't tell me everything that was going on. She didn't want to scare me, and I meant to ask her when I left, but it seems like there was a lot of like bad energy in there, but I never really felt bad energy in there. I just definitely felt energy in there. So that was like the first thing, which maybe it doesn't sound that scary, but I found it to be kind of wild. And then in that same apartment, my bed, like say this was my bed, there was a big closet like right there, and then there was this other closet kind of like over there, a very small closet. It was like a jacket closet, like a little whatever. I don't know why that's relevant. Sometimes in my stories I'll give details that have nothing to do with anything, but I like to paint the picture for you guys, you know what I mean? Anyways, so I have a memory, it's very distinct, everybody, of waking up, I assume in the middle of the night, and sort of looking, and at that second closet, that small closet, I saw a profile of an Indian chief. He had, I mean, I could see it still, like clear as day. He was sort of boxy and had a very like rigid, long face, and he was holding, I'm thinking like a spear, and he was just standing there. He didn't look at me. He just looked like he was literally like on guard. Like he was some sort of guardian for me. And I can't remember, I mean, I must have just gone back to sleep. Apparently, like, when you see spirits, this is what my mom's medium friend says, is that if you hear, feel, see whatever a spirit and you're uncomfortable, you just have to say, she's British. If you aren't here for my higher good, bugger off. Leave me alone. And kind of like leave it at that, because some of the spirits I like to think are there to protect you, and this one clearly was there to protect me. I don't know where in my past he came from or what he was protecting me from. Maybe the spirit that threw that thing off the wall, because it was the same place, but yeah, that was something that like will stick in my head for absolutely ever. I don't know if that's a ghost. Like, I'm not really sure the difference between a ghost, a guardian, a spirit. Like, I don't know. I guess kind of all the same. I don't know. I'm no expert in this, although if you guys would be interested, maybe I could get my mom's friend, the medium, to come do a video with me, or do like a live with her or something. That would be like really interesting. I always kind of wanted to do a podcast with her, or have her on a podcast if I were to have one. She's just such a unique character, and her story is so interesting in terms of like how she learned that she had this gift, and actually it was like a family learned thing, which you'll hear a lot from these psychics or mediums, that like it runs in their family. Anyhow, so that was a specific one that I can still see. Like, I picture it often, actually. He like hasn't come to visit me, at least not in a visual sense, since then, but he was there, my friends. He was there. So were these overalls, I think. I've had these forever. You were there. Did you see them? Look at those leggies. Hi, leggy poo. Hello, leggy poo. I do think dogs like see things too. I'm trying to think if she's ever had like a specific, she gets spooked sometimes, but I think that's just because she's an anxious pup. The other time I saw a ghost, it was a little bit of a different experience. This was pretty scary. So I was on a vacation with a boyfriend at the time, and we were at this like historical hotel. Like, it had been there for a really long time, and it was known, I think we learned later that it was known to be haunted. And I don't know the history behind it. If you guys are interested, I could do a little bit more research on it. But for some reason, they were doing construction, and they put us on a floor where they were doing construction. So there was like these plastic kind of like coverings over things, you know, when they're like remodeling and they put like big plastic things. So it was just kind of like creepy to begin with, because at night you'd walk through the hallway and if there was a gust of wind, those things would kind of move, which would like totally mimic like the look and feel and sound of the ghost. So that was just creepy, generally speaking. And I feel like once you kind of get it in your head too, that it's like creepy and there could be ghosts, it's like hard to not think there are. Anyways, if you guys know me, I go to bed relatively early. I am not a night owl, so I think what had happened is that we were like hanging out watching something and I had fallen asleep. Well, my boyfriend at the time decided he's not asleep or tired, so he was going to go down to the gym or like to a bar, I don't remember. Like he was gonna like leave, let me sleep and go do something. So he leaves. I don't know this obviously because I am asleep. At some point, however, my eyes open and the bed is like this and the bathroom, like closet into the bathroom is like to the right. I get a creepy feeling. I look over, as clear as day, you guys. The memory is clear as day and it's actually like making my stomach drop. I look over and I see my makeup case, a very specific travel makeup case. And that mother effer is floating. It has come out of, like cry. It has come out of the bathroom and it is floating. I think, okay, you know when you're in like that state of sleep, like sure, yes, maybe my brain was playing tricks on me, but it was such a specific random thing for me to open my eyes to that I don't know, I've never had an experience like that. My mind's never done a trick like that. So I, you know, was in a state of like grogginess, so I definitely didn't move because that's terrifying. And so I must have fallen back asleep. It gets weirder. So the next morning we wake up and without me even prompting the boyfriend of the time, he tells me that when he came back from whence he went, when he came back, the door, like the room door into the hallway, was open. I was sleeping in the bed. The door was completely open. Is that the most horrifying thing? I was like, did you shut it? He's like, oh, absolutely. Like, I wouldn't have just like left without shutting it all the way. Like, I'm not gonna leave you with the door hanging open. Like, oh, so first of all, the scariest thing of all is the fact that I was sleeping in a bed and the door was like wide open. Luckily, we were, like I said, on this weird hall that like nobody else was staying at. The whole thing was so bonkers. So apparently I was safe, but then I was like, oh my God, you won't believe. Then I saw this thing flying. So anyways, that was haunted. That place was haunted. I think we left that night. I don't think we stayed an extra night. It just kind of like freaked us out so much. I don't know if that was a bad ghost or not. I mean, I don't really know. Like, I don't know what the purpose of that is. I mean, maybe there was like, I don't think that, in that case, okay, like, all right, go with me on this. If you're this far and you're already weird and in my same wavelength, so I feel comfortable telling you this, but like, the Indian chief that I saw, he was protecting me. I believe that wholeheartedly. Like, he was there, he was protecting me, he wasn't there to scare me. This other entity and situation, ghost for sure, I feel like we were in its space and it wasn't like personal to us, it was just that we were there. So it wasn't like a guide, a spirit that was like, hey, I gotta follow Lisa into wherever she goes and let her know I'm there. So it wasn't someone from my past. Like, I don't believe that. I think it was like, hey, something happened in this room specifically or at this hotel and we were interrupting it and so it needed to let us know. Intense. I'm getting like a little heavy chested thinking about it. I actually haven't like thought about my specific moments like that before. My mom, I would love, we can have like a conversation with my mom sometime too, but like my mom has people call out to her all the time. Like she can actually like audibly hear ghosts or people from the past. Yeah, it's just so crazy. It's so interesting. And so I would love to hear your personal stories about this. I can only imagine you guys all have some sort of experience with this in one level or another, or know somebody who has. I would love to hear them in the comments below. And if you guys want to like start tapping into a little bit more ghost content, now that I've like, or spirit world content, now that I've done this video, I'm kind of feeling a little bit more inspired to get back into the Freaky Fridays, but maybe in like just a different way. Like not stories about other people in terms of like news stories or like true crime stories, but maybe actually talking with people in my life who have had experiences. A lot of my friends with kids, their kids have mentioned ghosts. So I think maybe that would be really interesting. Ooh, let me know if you want that, y'all. I would love to do that. So stay tuned for that. This was a smaller laundry pile, but done just in time for me to not have a complete panic about the fact that I've seen ghosts. So cool. All right, y'all. I love you, and stay tuned tomorrow for some wedding related content. All right, bye.